Tonight we stand with Israel on the plains of Moab. Moses is nearing the end of his mortal ministry. Before them lies the promised land. Behind them lies 40 years of wandering. In these final chapters, covenant is renewed, choices are made clear, and leadership passes forward. This is not merely history. It is the Lord inviting every generation to choose life. Moses gathers all Israel on the plains of Moab and calls every soul into solemn remembrance. Leaders, elders, officers, children, women, and even the stranger within the camp stand together. No one is outside this covenant hour. He reminds them of Egypt, of the mighty signs their eyes saw, of Pharaoh's pride broken, of deliverance by the Lord's hand. He recalls a wilderness where clothing did not wear out and sandals did not fail, where they learned to live day by day on heaven's mercy. They were not sustained by bread alone, but by the Lord who fed them. They learned that power belongs to God, not to idols, not to kings, not to human strength. Yet Moses speaks with piercing honesty. Despite all they have witnessed, they have not always had a heart to perceive or eyes to see as they should. Covenant requires more than memory. It requires awakening, humility, and a willing heart. So he renews the covenant, not only with those standing before him, but also with generations yet unborn, binding future Israel to the same sacred obligation. He warns against hidden rebellion, the quiet turning of the heart toward other gods while the mouth still speaks peace. A root that bears bitterness, he says, can spring up and poison an entire people. No one may bless himself inwardly and imagine he will have peace while walking in stubbornness. The Lord will not clear such a soul. If they forsake the covenant, the land itself will testify. Cities will become desolate, fields will scorch, and strangers will pass by and ask why devastation fell upon a once favored people. The answer will be plain. They forsook the Lord who brought them out and embraced gods they did not know. Yet Moses also draws a boundary of trust. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the revealed things belong to us and to our children, that we may do all the words of this law. Covenant is not a casual agreement. It is wholly binding before heaven, demanding loyalty when no one is watching and obedience when the cost is real. Standing at the edge of promise, Israel must learn that blessing comes not from geography, but from faithfulness. Before they cross the Jordan, they are called to choose covenant with open eyes and an undivided heart. Moses describes the covenant as a living bond. Enter it, stand in it, keep it, and walk in the Lord's ways. He includes a child who barely understands and the elder who remembers the Red Sea, because covenant is a family chain, not a private contract. He warns that sin is never only personal. Secret pride becomes public ruin, and one hidden altar can invite a nation's sorrow. If they harden their hearts, the Lord's name will be treated lightly, and consequences will teach what ears refuse to learn. Even so, Moses does not speak to crush hope, but to anchor it. The Lord has spoken, the Lord has rescued, and the Lord will remain God in the land, if they will remain his people. Moses turns from warning to invitation and speaks as a prophet who knows both exile and return are real. He says that blessing and curse will come, and when Israel is scattered and later remembers the Lord, they can turn back with all the heart and with all the soul. The Lord will not merely bring them home, he will gather them, have compassion, and restore them, even if they are driven to the farthest parts. More than geography, Moses promises an inner miracle. The Lord will circumcise the heart, removing what is hard, proud, and divided. so they can love Him fully and live. He also teaches that obedience is not impossible or distant. The commandment is not hidden in heaven, as if someone must climb to fetch it, nor is it beyond the sea, as if someone must sail to bring it back. It is near, spoken in the mouth, planted in the heart, so that it can be done in ordinary days. Then Moses sets a choice before them with the weight of heaven: life and good, death and evil, blessing and cursing. To choose life is to love the Lord, to walk in His ways, to keep His commandments, and to cleave to Him when other voices promise easier peace. To turn away is to lose light, to drift into bondage, and to forfeit the strength covenant would have provided. Moses calls heaven and earth to witness, not because God doubts, but because Israel must remember. Choices have witnesses and consequences. He pleads with them to choose life, so they and their seed may live, and so their days may be long in the land the Lord promised to their fathers. In this chapter, the Lord's mercy and the Lord's demands stand together. Return is possible, change is real, and the path is clear. Repentance is not a word for emergencies only. It is a daily turning that keeps covenant bright. And the heart of the invitation is simple and holy. The Lord is not asking for perfection in a moment, but for loyalty that keeps walking toward Him. Moses speaks as a father to a nation. Do not say, "Who will do this for us?" For the Lord has already spoken and already provided what is needed. He promises that as they turn, the Lord can reverse their shame, gather their broken pieces, and place His joy upon them again. He also teaches that covenant love is not cold duty. It is choosing the Lord above appetite, above fear, above the pull of surrounding nations. It is learning to hear His voice in the quiet and to trust His word when the future feels uncertain. Life is more than survival. It is communion with God, strength in the soul, and peace that does not depend on circumstances. Cleave unto Him, Moses says, because the Lord is their life and the length of their days. And the same choice stands before every generation: to love God with the whole heart, to obey His voice, and to keep walking, even when the road is long. Moses teaches that the Lord's way is close enough to live today. Speak it, love it, do it, and the Lord will strengthen you. Moses now speaks as one finishing his mortal work. At 120 years, he tells Israel he will not cross the Jordan, but the Lord will. The Lord will go before them, and the Lord will give the land as He promised. Before all the people, Moses commissions Joshua, laying the future in a younger leader's hands and in God's keeping. Be strong and of a good courage, he says, for the Lord will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Then Moses writes the law and delivers it to the priests, the sons of Levi, and to the elders, and commands that it be read publicly every 7 years at the feast, so that men, women, children, and the stranger may hear and learn to fear the Lord and to do the words of the law. The covenant is to be kept alive by hearing, not only by habit. The Lord also prepares a witness for the future. Moses is taught a song that will stand as testimony when Israel turns aside. Moses is shown that the people will be tempted by prosperity, drawn toward other gods, and that trouble will come, yet the Lord's purposes will stand, and His word will not be emptied. So the law is placed beside the ark as a witness, and Joshua is strengthened again with the same charge: be strong and of a good courage. In this moment leadership passes, but covenant does not. Moses' hands grow weak, yet the Lord's hand remains steady. Israel is asked to trust that God leads His people through transitions, through unknown rivers, and through fear, as surely as He led them through the sea. The chapter closes with sober realism and steady hope. The Lord knows His people, warns them, teaches them, and still walks with them, if they will hear His voice. Moses also speaks as a father to a nation. Do not cling to a man, but cling to the God who called that man. The work is the Lord's. Therefore the servant can change, and the covenant can remain. The public reading every 7 years is mercy. It calls the forgetful back, it teaches the rising generation, and it invites the outsider to come under the same truth. Even the song is mercy, because when hearts wander, the words will still be there to confront, to recall, and to call them home. The Lord is not surprised by human weakness, and He does not abandon His promises. So Moses blesses, writes, delivers, and testifies, leaving behind not a monument to himself, but a record of the Lord's voice. Israel must learn to move forward without clinging to a man, and instead to cling to the God who called that man. Strength is obedience, and courage is trust. And the Lord who goes before them is the same Lord who will remain with them when the camp grows quiet and the next generation must choose covenant for themselves. Moses also charges the nation to gather to hear the word, because faith fades when it is not fed. In every age, the safest future is built by remembering the Lord together. The covenant is carried by listening and doing.